as the consumers. The consumers also raise it because that I love one thing I was watching the Dave Chappelle special, and he was saying, you know what, now I'm gonna go to my real bosses, and his real boss was the audience, and he said, I'm asking you guys who are the consumers to not purchase or participate in this, and so that's the same thing. We didn't as well. We are the real bosses and are the machine, you know.
Do me a favor on your platform, and again, I'm so humble and blessed to be on your platform. Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
The same platform that you have right now and what you're doing right now, I don't even think you realize Rock Truth Radio stands for more than just Rock Truth Radio. Here's the difference with what you're doing culturally. You're talking about building a whole bunch of people that's looking at your show and looking at the sisterhood and brotherhood that you bring forth every single show. And it's showing them subliminally, this is how you work together.
Yeah.
This is the bridge you build for other people to cross over back and forth. That's the kind of platform that we need. That's the kind of positive energy that we need. If it's not for your show, how will younger people have first off a blueprint to follow and something to look forward to, and to say, I don't really want to do the rest of that stuff that everybody else is doing. I need a show that is indicative of who I am. And that's what Rock Truth is all about. So I'm so humbled to be on your platform.
Thank you. And we're humble to have you. And I'm sorry, just one last minute and I'll let everybody else talk. But thank you for that. And just like you said, you stand independent. So do we. We are not, willing to do anything for any money. We're not willing to compromise anything. If we got to put in the work, we'll put in the work before we compromise ourselves and the God that we serve. But we don't need that. We're not here for that. We're here for his namesake solely. And so I'm so grateful that you've taken again the time to turn and see us for who it is that we are. That was I'm trying not to cry, Will. You're on mute, Ty.
All right, now I can talk. Now, can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. How are you, King? Blessings unto you.
Good. Blessings to you. Let me go on and give them this intro.
Go ahead and please do it.
Good evening and welcome to RockSingle. I am your host, Tyron Joe, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth to absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inherent, and the final authority for all. RockSingle is founded on He, who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. The RockSingle podcast is a cross-cultural response to to the economic and social climate of today's relationship scene. RockSingle will teach you how to maneuver and still be kingdom-minded throughout your relationship experiences. Our aim is to help repair the fallen and broken man with the kingdom mindset. The podcast seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local kings and queens of character while promoting Black consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the RockSingle podcast.
Welcome, King, and welcome back to our new season. How have you been?
Good. Yes, new season, 2022.
2022. Oh my God. We were actually I was just talking to AJ, shout out to Rocky Queen. Shout out to AJ Adams. Shout out to the new addition to our Rock True Nation family, to crew. I am so excited to be, adding on board Miss Tamara Davis, Miss Tammy, Miss Curves in the streets. She'll be joining the Rock True Queens family. We have Miss May, who's already joined Rock Youth, Rock Truth. Along with Miss Quisha. She will be joining Rock Youth, Rock Truth as well. We have an array of new hosts. We have an array of new shows, even though we find ourselves today back at the beginning, back at origin with RockSingle and mastering singleness again, revisiting those rules of engagement and learning the rights, role, and responsibilities as a single individual or a single kingdom citizen.
Yes, absolutely, most definitely.
Yes.
Are you in your office? I like the office look.
Yes, I am. I am still technically in the cup at Tag Printing Factory, and also it's our hub for In His Image Rock True Prints, as well as Rock True Cafe. We have here, guys. Come on down. If we're still open to 8 o'clock. So if you guys are looking for something lawfully healthy,
Yeah,
come on down to Rock True Cafe so that we can serve you guys.
I like
'Cause
that.
we
I like
definitely,
that. Lawfully healthy. Yeah,
yeah, lawfully. It's imperative. It's so imperative to what it is that we do. So
right.
imperative. Clarity of mind is imperative, and having a body that functions properly
Come
is
on now.
imperative. Yes, sir.
Come on now. I see you. I see you teaching already, having a function that functions. Come on now. It is imperative. That's right. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got booted off a podcast one time for talking about drinking water, because our ladies need us to be King Kong in the bed.
I
But hey,
I,
that's it.
I
You
agree.
gotta allow the body to be able to function imperatively. Come on
I
now.
agree. I agree. How can
You ain't
y'all
allowing that body to function imperatively. That's why you having problems in the bed because you're not treating the body.
teach? Teach and everywhere else as well. You having you if it's in one area you're having an issue, you're definitely gonna have an issue somewhere else. It's not gonna,
Absolutely.
yeah,
But
yeah.
people they want to be PG. I mean, hey, I'm all for PG, but we want to keep it real out here.
Yes, sir.
How am I supposed to be able to minister to the streets if I'm PG? I gotta go and be like Jesus and speak the language of the people.
You have to. How do you relate if you cannot communicate? How do you relate if you cannot speak the language? Even in every hood, like there's jargon in every hood. You know what I'm saying? One thing I learned is in diversity, there's a culture within a culture. So even in Gary, Indiana, for instance, you know what I'm saying? There's a culture on the east side. There's a culture, on dark side. There's a culture in
Right,
Etna. There's
right,
a culture in Miller. There's a culture in GP. Yeah, it's
right.
just different cultures within the culture. There's a culture on one neighborhood on one block and a different culture on another block. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to speak the language of the people in order to relate to them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect a man like Mr. Rogers to be selling dope. I mean, we're gonna keep it a buck. I wouldn't expect that. So there it is, there it is.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love it, King. Well, it is about that time. We might as well go ahead and kind of get into it. And
Okay.
I know we were gonna, go for legally driven, and that's coming.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
coming. But definitely about 20 about 2 o'clock this morning. You know what I'm saying? Had some redirection. And it's just imperative for us to have a firm foundation
Oh man,
in.
you hitting on it. You hitting on it.
Yes, sir. In friendship, because I'm telling you, you have to understand no matter how beautiful something, whatever that building looks like or appears, no matter how beautiful it is inside and out, if there is a crack in the foundation, it will be considered condemned. It will be considered condemned. And so we have to have a firm foundation in God in reference to what it is or who it is that we are supposed to be so that we can have something to offer another person, whether that is in a relationship, for marriage, a relationship with your parents, a relationship with a friend. Either way, you have to have that firm foundation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's when you woke up around 2 o'clock this morning. I was out, out cold.
My new hours of operation, King.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you do get up. You had to be up way for the workout class around about 3 or 4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ooh-wee,
Yes, sir.
ooh-wee.
It's
Them
no
school
joke.
bus driver hours right there. You tapped in my hours. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee.
Yes, yes.
Well, all right. I don't plan to be before you long, but we get started. You have those them notes. We're gonna put them
I
notes
do
down
have
for
notes for you,
today.
King.
Okay. We're gonna walk through these notes little by little because I'm gonna stop at certain points because I want to hear what Selena got to say if she got something to say about it. But as we like Selena was saying, we need a firm foundation for 2022 as we continue to master singleness and then become legally driven. Word of the Lord, Ty. First, we're gonna talk about communication. All right. I believe that this is something that is important as we prepare ourselves to master singleness. And who are we preparing ourselves for? We are preparing ourselves for the one that is to come. And I can stop right there and speak on that because a lot of people that think, a lot of people that's single, they believe that they don't have to, do anything while they single.
Teach, brother.
First misunderstanding right there. Oh well, I'm single. I ain't got to do nothing. He just come to me. He gonna come to me, and I'm just gonna be wrong. Wrong. Thing is, just like if you used to get off the phone with one of your homies or one of your girlfriends, and they say, "Hey, girl, what you doing tonight?" Oh, I ain't doing nothing. Well, you want to come out to B Dubs? You want to come out to Applebee's? Like, yeah, I want to. Well, okay, I'll be there in an hour and a half. What are you gonna do within that hour and a half before they get there? You're gonna go and get that. You're gonna go get that Bath and Body Works, that Vagisil, that Summer's Eve, you get some herbs and spices. You're gonna start soaking. You know what I mean? You're gonna draw that bad water. You're gonna start soaking. You're gonna start preparing yourself for when that friend, that ride, or whoever, when that Uber, when they come, you're gonna prepare yourself for that. So therefore, as we master singleness in 2022, we must prepare ourselves for the one to come. And communication is one of them.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Because again, the first call is to him. You know what I'm saying? The first call is to him. Like you have to prepare yourself, not even for yourself. You're preparing yourself for the king, for the kingdom. That's what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? So in preparation, you should see the thing about it is people coming and going. God is a rearranger of parts. So you don't want to get attached to a person. That even includes your spouse. You don't want to be so attached to a person, that if they were to leave, you crumble. You should be attached to the vision. So whether they're there or they're not, you know exactly how to move and push that vision. You know what I'm saying? And that's in every aspect. So it starts with him. And even if you were to get married, the vision that king has as women, let me say, the vision that king has, you should be able to continue to push and further his vision, whether he's with you or not, present or not, i.e., go back to God, whether he's on earth or not. Our job is to continue to push the vision. So the first assignment and call is to him. Change your mind for him.
Absolutely, yes. In the absence of the king, it is imperative to go ahead and push the vision. It's an imperative because the king, he left out the blueprint. He left that blueprint for us, and there we go. We just continue on with the blueprint. Don't try to reinvent the wheel because that's another problem. We want
We
to go. We want to redo something that don't even need to be fixed.
No, no, absolutely. And you know what though? And that is a lot. I'm not, no shade again to women. That's women and understanding that we are help. There is nothing wrong with even saying that you're help because he called you help. He called us help. We are simply here to help. We are not here to take a man away from the vision that God has already given him. We are here to help him further it, and if you're not doing that, you're bending that man's will away from God towards you. And this goes back to that origin fallen behavior. Eve bending Adam's will towards her as opposed to God's word. So we have to assure that we're not we have to assure that we are not going against God. I posted maybe a few days ago, I said, stop planning against God. It's either going to be his will be done or yours. Because we like to think it's like everything else that's going around us, but no, it's you. It's you. So you have to choose. The shirts that I'm making for the fitness thing that we're doing, we went back to origin too. And we started with your convictions over your appetite. but then we also furthered that to what you believe over what you crave. And now the new phrase that we're using is what he said over what you say. These are the differences in your life and death. You know what I'm saying? And you have to choose those. You have to choose that. So as women, you cannot bend the wheel away from God towards yourself. That is that if you have an issue with God, you have an issue with God. You
And
know?
I add to that, it is not a good idea to think that you can manipulate. Well, I'm not gonna say manipulate,
That
but
is a word, brother.
think that you can control a man's time. You
Mm,
think that you can control the space that he operates. And,
teach. Now
and,
teach.
and, and and what I mean by that is, certain things that you all get caught up on, make a mountain out of a molehill, shouldn't even be there. You know what I'm saying? Where you going? When you coming back? Y'all would take those two questions and almost break up the whole
Yeah.
relationship because this man then left somewhere, then come back for a while. That
Yeah.
should not be, of any
No.
word. Jesus,
No.
every time Jesus got ready to pray, then he go up in the mountains. He went up in the mountains and he left for a while because he had to go and do the Father's business.
Right. Right. He had something.
What the disciples are like, Master, Master, where you been at? They weren't doing them like that. They weren't hassling them like that because they knew he had business to take care of.
Right, right. And you're absolutely right. So this is that part of mastering singleness. As a woman, you should already be one whole and complete. You don't need him to complete you, and vice versa. He doesn't need you to complete him. He is one complete in the Lord, and so are you. And so, just in case he's not there, guess what? You already had your own thing going on anyway. At least you should, because you had been spending time mining, meaning mining, getting the most out of your own
Yes,
business or minding it, paying attention to it and not everybody else's business. We got to get this straight.
absolutely. We got to really work on that. And I wanted to get back to communication
See?
because it is important that when you get into a relationship, or even if not a relationship, when you are in a friendship, talking to people, male, female, doesn't matter. We got to learn how to listen.
Yes.
I mean, just this week alone, I have been in conversation with people, and I've gotten annoyed because I'm like, you didn't listen to nothing I said. I'm like, you waiting to respond, and you not listening to what I said because
Right.
everything that you're saying right now, I already answered that.
Right.
Like if you had
Right.
to listen, you wouldn't even have to say what you're saying right now.
Yes. Yes.
And
Because
that's a
most
huge
people talk,
problem.
they talk, they're not talking to, listen, like you're saying, or even have a response. They're talking to react. They're talking to provide. They're just looking for a way in which to ease in their willed way. And it's like, no, you have to learn how to listen effectively to what somebody is saying, and then learn how to also regurgitate that back, because you'll find just that easy, just that quick. It can be a communication error. A lot of relationships end in simple communication error. They'll say that it's due to finances. They'll say it's due to fornication or adultery. Excuse me, adultery, because it should be in marriage. They'll say that it's due to adultery. No, it's due to a simple communication error. And I don't care how long you have been with somebody, it is always best to ask and ask and ask until you're clear. That's communication, you know.
And less is best.
I like that.
Sometimes people just say too much, and sometimes that be the problem. Just saying too much to now you just dug yourself into a hole and you
Come
can't
on.
get out. We got less is best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If we are talking about something, why would you state the obvious? I'm telling you, that's one thing that will burn me up. We're gonna state the obvious all day. No, that's the less is best. Let's
let
move on from the obvious and state something that might be beneficial to my knowledge,
this.
beneficial to me knowing.
You
All
are
right.
teaching my king. The one thing that I've noted with people who lie is that they talk so much and they never shut up. Have you
Never.
ever seen somebody who continuously have to explain? When you have to continuously explain, you lying. It is just as simple. Even with what we do in our business, I don't need to know your business. I don't need to know why you can't be somewhere or why you can't do. Just simply say you can't. This is going to help you just to stop coming up with excuses and really stop lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, just say I don't want to be there, because that's really the issue at hand. If it's not a justifiable reason, you don't want to, is the excuse, or rather the rock true reasoning behind it. But when people talk too much or provide too much information, that's already an indicator right there. It's a lie. And that's manipulative tactics. That's a part of the control tactics that are used by people or by immature people, because that's a man or a woman.
Absolutely. Seek to be a friend, not a twin.
Woo, I love that, King.
I don't. How many times I've been in relationships. Well, wait, I'm gonna match his energy because he did this. I'm gonna do that. He ate all the bologna, so I'm gonna drink all the pop. Well, what's that solving? Hello.
Okay.
What's that solving? We want to match energy. Well, girl, he this, he did, so I'm gonna do this.
Well, I don't get that. That's like a tic-tac.
Right. How about be a friend, and when he go low, you go high. Fellas, when she go low, you go high.
Come on.
Or you stay high.
Teach.
Let her continue to do what she gonna do. Let him continue to do what he gonna do.
Yes.
And you gonna still be that light.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. I mean, and started with my kings. Somebody has to lead. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a area in which someone is going low, you go high, you stay high, you remain high. You are standard. You are to set it and maintain it. This is your kingdom. You don't lower yourself or lower your bridge because of a woman. And this is the issue that we have at hand. Again, going back to fallen behavior from origin that we started to exhibit the moment we ate of what we wasn't supposed to. You lowered the standard. And it's time that we raise that flag again, as we can see how far off we have come from the mark. Look at women today. Look at men today. Oh my God. I was actually put on to a TP special today that has taken men to so far left. You know what I'm saying? Even women wasn't even supposed to go this far into, the unknown. But now men, the standard with men have just completely fallen way off. We're not even on the board anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're aiming. And we're shooting darts. We're not even on a board anymore. And so many of us aren't even playing with darts. You're playing with a boomerang. It's so self-aimed, So we have
Absolutely
to raising that standard, not only for yourselves, but also for future generations, for your children, and for the women who are to follow you.
Absolutely. And to add to that, fellas, you can't be afraid to say no.
I can.
You got to say no. You gotta adopt that word no, because the thing is, when you're establishing lordship and kingship, the thing is, if you saying yes all the time, you're gonna be a yes man in her eyes, and she gonna walk all over you like fresh carpet.
Spineless and jellyback. Spineless and jellyback men. These are the betas. These are the betas or the beers of men. Straight up and down. Straight up and down. And we pull your, take that skirt off. You are not a woman. You are a man. Take it off. Be a man. Stand firm, flat-footed. You know what I'm saying? On God's standard, on God's word.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, we have to. I mean, if you want to establish some type of base, common ground, you got to say no. And the thing is, if she can't handle it, she'll leave. Let her leave, and the one that can handle it will come.
Listen, and that's part of the prepare, brother. That's part of the prepare. Just like heaven is a prepared place for prepared people, so is relationship. It is a prepared place for people who are prepared. That means they were prepared before the foundation of the world to be together, not because it's pleasurable, not because it's somebody's preference, but because it's for his purpose. Because God knew, if I take this person and I take this person and I pair them together, or I prepare them together, I will reproduce my image. My word goes forth, and the order that I've set, it comes into fruition. So it's not about us. It's not about, oh, I like this type of person. Like you were saying earlier, a lot of people out here are single because They like dogs. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. They don't like what is considered a good man. A lot of people out here single because of their checklist where it got to be like
Oh,
this.
you talking about that meme?
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, seriously, they don't.
Yeah.
You know what? I wished I knew of that clip, but it was a clip where a woman was saying that she only like drug dealers. She don't like no man. She don't like good men. She like men that have been caught up in law, men that that's on the verge of going to jail, men that's on the verge of getting killed. That's what she said she liked.
Oh wow. Oh wow. And then just you know what? Now when you hear something like that, you just have to stem back to what type of mentality does that person have, and that's going to stem from abuse, the abnormal usage. Somebody has abnormally used them, and so their motive now is to abnormally use another. It's just a cycle of abuse.
It's so many of us like that with that type of mindset. I look back at one of the young ladies that I dated, and she always talked about how my logic, how I had some of the worst logic ever. And I'm like, how's my logic worse when you do some things that she was previously married before she started talking to me. So she's divorced when she started talking to me, and I was like, you told me about things in your marriage that I'm like, I know I wouldn't allow.
Teach.
You know what I'm saying? You have been giving your best friends the code to you and your husband's garage and house, and they popping up. They just popping up on y'all while y'all laying in bed sleeping. They popping up. I know me as a man, I wouldn't allow that to happen. They got one time to pop up.
Listen.
They wouldn't do it again.
Again. And how can you go back, brother? How can you even blame her? She has a whole king that should have established order, like you were stating in the beginning. And because he did not, and he allows things or he tolerates things, now look at what is at hand. And he's also responsible for
And
what
he didn't know that that woman gave that code out.
come
He
on.
was gave that code out to them.
Listen.
But because what I heard is when he seen her pop up, he said something. But she think is he didn't do nothing about it no more because she checked him.
See, you see what I'm saying? How is that possible when it's
Because I was like, what he doing? Well, it ain't nothing he could do about it. I got him together. Oh, please. I'm like, you wouldn't do that with me.
come
I'll
on,
take it now. That ain't going down with me. They got one time to pop up, and it's gonna be some action being taken place.
Yeah. And how was that friendship, King? How was that friendship to your friend? How was that friendship that you're not a respecter of his privacy and you're not a keeper of his peace? How was that friendship?
Right, and you just hit one of the words. I mean, there was no respect at all there. That's the problem. Like, man, like respect and right, yeah, privacy. Like, nah, I know if I'm hanging out in my house and you just pop up walking through my door, hey, anything liable can happen.
Come on.
Okay, especially when you on my property, anything liable to happen. You better call or do something. Call, send a text before you come.
Come on
Don't come walking through my door like that because
now.
we gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
Serious problem.
no, for real. Teach, brother, straight up and down. We have a huge problem if you cannot respect me.
But you're right. That is a beta male characteristic. Like
Brother.
You said something too about it, but then you let her check you and you let it go.
Yep.
No, you can't do that. You got to stand firm. Like if it get real serious, you have to put her out too. Like, well, how about everybody just get up out of here?
Come on.
I said ain't nobody popping up on me using my code while I'm in my house. So everybody get out.
So everybody get out.
I'm saying, you gotta take them preventative measures like that.
Yes, sir. I totally agree. I am like all in favor for the Kings this year to stand up and raise God's standard. I actually prayed that prayer. You know what I'm saying? It's a necessity that we have order, out here. We have order. Look how many, everything stems from the home. Everything that is spilling out into our streets when you have, teen pregnancy, you have the deaths and the killings, and you have the role reversals. All of this is stemming from the home. This stems from a lack of order in the home. And if our kings would just stand and not be afraid to not, as if you're afraid to be alone, as if you're afraid that you won't have some type of woman or that, who would want a parasite?
What about the garden days?
My king.
Because the thing is, I taught on this a few times in December, and I got yelled at about some of my female co-hosts talking about I'm woman bashing. But at the end of the day, that Eve, she allowed that serpent to
Yes.
stick his way into her mind,
Yes.
and as a result, she just gave Adam the fruit. Adam being beta, he didn't even question where the fruit came from. He just went on ahead and ate the fruit. Then he found out he was naked. God, like, hey, who told you was naked? And he was like, well, why did you sin against me? He's like, well, it was this woman that you gave me.
Listen, and again, going back, fallen behavior. Fallen behavior
Absolutely.
have you into the blame game. You have to watch the behaviors that were exhibited after they ate of what it was they wasn't supposed to. After disobedience, that just has this trickle down effect. It's a lot of stuff that stems from disobedience that you didn't even count on, that you never even banked on. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that God is trying to protect you from. And so again, when you make those decisions against him, you're definitely going to see that blame game. You're definitely going to watch how people cover themselves. If you pay attention to all of the businesses that we have now, look at the businesses that promote our fallen behavior. They're there or in place to cover what it is that we're supposed to be doing. I mean, what it is we're not supposed to be doing. So just as simple as businesses that don't promote proper health. Those type of businesses are instead of providing what it is that we need. We have, okay, you know what, don't worry about it, you can just take vitamins to cover the fact that you didn't take the proper nutrients that you were supposed to have for the day. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to putting in don't worry about that. You can instead of you exercising and again eating properly, go get lipo. Look at these businesses that are in place to cover your fallen behavior, as opposed to educate you to function properly and get in the habit of, again, your convictions over your appetite, what you believe over what you crave, what he said over what you say. Same model. It's the same.
Look at the retail market. Look at the retail market. You got starting from the month of October all the way to Valentine's Day, February. You got these holidays that is just, to me, this is the way I look at it, is that these holidays are geared to the woman and the child. And with both of those put together, they're gonna put the pressure on the man to spend his money. You want to buy me a Christmas gift? If you don't buy me a Christmas gift, we can't go out on a date. I'm not gonna love you. I'm not gonna do this. If you don't buy me a Valentine's Day gift, well, let me stop right there. No, serious. I was watching this video. I don't even want to call her name, but it's well-known radio host. I'm watching her show, and she got these ladies on there talking about Christmas gifts, because I guess they just had a show around Christmas. Some of them talk, they were like, they started out saying, oh no, I don't celebrate that. She said, well, what about the gifts? Oh yeah, I celebrate the gift part, but I don't do all the other traditional Christmas stuff. And so she started saying, well, she's like, what about Valentine's Day? This one lady, she said Valentine's Day is more important to her than her birthday. She said it's more important to her than her birthday.
That's strange. That is definitely strange behavior. That's what
if you don't do nothing for her for Valentine's Day, you don't love her.
That's sad. What is it that you do for yourself? Do you love you for Valentine's Day?
Clearly, she don't.
It's self-evident. It is self-evident that you're not one whole and complete. You haven't mastered yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't even understand that, gifts don't mean nothing. I've seen people give people thousands of gifts and it still don't mean they love them.
They went and slept right with the neighbor's wife.
They can just afford to do that. That's
all it is.
That's all that is. But that
don't mean wait, this little $1,000 I'm about to give her, that ain't nothing but a tax write-off. Here, take the $1,000. I'm still gonna sleep with the lady down the street.
That's it. That doesn't mean that they are devoted to you, that you are that one thing that they do. And then here's the thing too, there is order. We talked about that a little bit earlier. The man's order is to God, not to you. The man's order is to God. You know what I'm saying? Yours is to him. The children are. It's order. It's just order. It's the way in which things flow. But your order is to God initially, and then he is the little Lord of the home. And so now you are under the subjection of that king.
Yeah, I like the way this one podcast to put it is God in Christ, Christ in man, and man over woman, and woman over children.
That's it. It's that simple.
I'm like, well, I love the way he put that. Love the way he put it. But yeah, it's that simple, but
It's simple.
But it's the same people that go to church on Sundays that have a problem with it.
It is.
Yeah, they have a literal problem. They have a literal problem with submitting to the headship of their husband.
They do. But that's because
they rather submit to their pastor. They rather submit to the man that's signing a paycheck, but to the man that gave them kids, to the man that's paying the bills, the house note, the car note, they walk all over him.
That's true. But that shows a lack of submission to God. They have a problem with God when you can't submit to one man. You're supposed to submit to a man, whether he's your man, that's your brother, that's your cousin, that's your whoever that is. If it's man, it's submission there for women. Simple. And there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? And anyone that has a problem with that, Rock truly has a problem with God and his willed way.
Let me say this. One of the last points was forgive and let live. If you really want to, if you really want to free yourself, you really want to heal, you're gonna have to forgive the first two that you make when you came out the womb. Your mother and father. You got to forgive. No, the scripture says that we should honor thy mother and father. But hey, at the end of the day, some of us, we can't even honor our mother and father because we holding grudges. We upset about something that they did in our childhood. So therefore, we must go to them and ask for forgiveness, seek their forgiveness, and free ourselves. After that, everything will just open up unto you.
Yes, absolutely. And then that also stems from you truly accepting God's forgiveness. You cannot forgive other people, including yourself, if you have not yourself accepted his full forgiveness for your past, present, and your
absolutely.
So yeah, it's order even there. There's a way in which you cannot treat your brother right. You cannot have, right true morality if you are not treating God right. It starts from that foundational base that we talked about. And so when you're talking about people inside of church who are religious and who put on airs and dress the part, that's how there's a crack in that foundation. Because when it comes to Rock truly submitting to man, they won't. And so they go to crack. And it's just subject to fall at any point. I don't care how beautiful it is. I don't care how it glitz and it glams. I don't care if it's the hottest thing. The world says it's the best thing since the Eiffel Tower or whatever it is. I don't care. It is going to be subject to doom because it is condemned due to the crack in that foundation.
So they seek to other vices.
My king.
Fall prey to other vices.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I brought that up, because it is so many people. I met plenty of people, but it's so many people that had like I said, what I do, I pay attention to how one species is, how one maybe a man might really have some type of problem with women, or how a woman might have some type of problem with man. And literally, when you get to digging and talking, it all goes back to something that one of their parents did.
Teach.
Like crazy part, I've dated women, didn't even know it, but I've dated women that really hated men.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, why are you with me then? Why are you with me?
Daddy.
Every time we talk, it's like it's always something that this man did or that man did. It just makes you mad. Just you just upset. Like, what is it about men that gets you? Every time, like if it's something come on the news, and is accusing some man, well, I bet he's guilty. How do you know he's guilty?
How do you know?
You don't even know what went down, but as soon as they said a man's name, you on top of it saying he guilty. Same as these men. As soon as they say a woman's name, all she did is she no good.
Yeah.
Hold on now. Don't just, how do you know? We can't just do this. But again, there's some forgiveness that have to be done.
Yeah. I love what you're saying about that is it focused back on, again, mindset. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have that idea in your head regarding your parents or whatever happened, everything that you are going to do is going to stem from that faulty idea. Just from that one thought alone, your behavior is going to, dictate that. It's going to change, even down to, the people that are in your life. It's going to all spiral down from that faulty concept, because the precept to that concept is completely off, non-existent, and it's made up. It's made up, and like you're saying, get back to the root of issues, men and women, daddy issues, mommy issues, especially with men. There are men who have been mommy to death. That woman desired for that man to worship her. Again, she's not healthy here, and so she wanted her children. It's a lot of women out here like, I want my children to love me, and then, hey, this ain't that. This is not that. Your job is
they shouldn't even get in a relationship until they seek that forgiveness from their mom. They need to be in a relationship, because the thing is, any relationship you get into is gonna fall to the ground.
Crack that foundation. No matter how high it goes, how pretty it is, it's going to crumble and fall, because it's just founded on like quicksand.
Facts.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Well, you know what, King? Let's go ahead and recap. And I know that was your final point. Let's bring it back on up. Word of the Lord, Ty. One, communication, which equates relationship. That is what tears apart every relationship. Learning how to listen, but listen effectively, not to have a rebuttal, but to listen to what it is the person is actually saying to you. Less is best. All that extraness, I promise you, it is manipulation. It is used as a vice for control tactics. Seek to be a friend and not a twin. I love that on so many levels. That takes us back to, what was it from it was seek loves, not likes,
right?
And catch friends and not feelings. Seek to be a friend and
go on to make that t-shirt. Go on to make that t-shirt.
King, I'm gonna have to go.
I need me one. I need me one. Go on, make that t-shirt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The matching of energies, and forgive and let live. I love that, because forgiveness is key. You should have a restoration plan already in place prior to the person failing you, just like God had for you. There isn't anything like you could think of whatever you can come up with this person could do to you or say or whatever, and you should already have. Oh no, you was forgiven before you got it, before you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be nothing, because again, you have already mastered that in Christ for yourself. You have already mastered the art of forgiveness and restoring and repeating that process. And as we were doing the Baywatch season, you become a first responder, and your time of forgiving and responding and forgiving and restoring should increase. You should get faster and faster and faster at it. It should not take you, oh, I got to think about it. You're a liar. You see what I'm saying? The lies.
Right.
This one of them, I got to pray on that. Where did Jesus tell you to pray about that? He said, pray his will be done. Any other prayer is artificial. Any other prayer is superficial. It is made up. He said, your will be done. You can tell me anything that's not covered in his will be done.
Right. Let me think about it real quick. I'm gonna simmer on that.
Oh yeah, it's just reasons people come up with that they don't want to.
Right.
They don't want to forgive somebody, and that's what the real problem is. It ain't all this other stuff. It ain't the byproduct. It ain't your drinking, your smoking, your cut. It ain't none of that. It's the mere fact that you do not want to forgive as written, because people think that, oh, I'm gonna forgive them, but they gonna be over there. Did Jesus tell you that? Or you know what? I'm cutting folks off. And I even see pastors out here talking about some cutting people off. Where did God tell you to cut somebody off? Judas even hung himself. You let people hang
And
themselves.
these pastors doing more than they.
Judas too.
One of them talking about pull up the other day. One of them made a video talking about pull up. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say his name, but he talking about some, you can come and do whatever you said you wanted to do. Well, don't do that. I'm like, that's really bad because I know some musicians that will pull up. I know some that will.
It's a horrible representation of God.
God, it really is. It really is.
That's just horrible. That's horrible. I mean, even in the watching what he was saying to the young lady, listen, if you're gonna pray, brother. Like, everybody ain't falling out. Everybody ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just pray, bro. Like, stop trying to be more than who you are or be in your own eyes.
He said he's saved. He said he's not scared. He's saved. I'm like, man, go somewhere with that.
You can still get shot.
You can still catch a fade. You can catch a fade and stay. You know what I mean? The eyes can get dotted and be saved. You out there speaking the gospel with the dotted eyes, gotta wear them sunglasses.
Right. You're asking for it. Okay, Lord Ty, go ahead and go give us your final thoughts before we get out of here.
Final thoughts, everybody. At the end of the day, if you really want to be free, go ahead and just begin to forgive. Like, start with your parents, and then other people that you know that you think that you need to forgive them. Go ahead and forgive them, and like actually go to them and ask them for it. If they're no longer here on earth, talking to God about it. Forgive them, in prayer. And move on with your life and let God free you. You know what I'm saying? Allow God to free you, because that is really huge in mastering singleness and preparing yourself for the one that is to come.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And just piggybacking off of that, I master singleness, be whole, one, and complete in Christ. You should not need another person. We are interdependent beings, not independent. We are interdependent. We rely on each other, but your one need is satisfied in Christ, in God. And once you're one, whole, and complete, you'll have something to offer another person. So one thing that I do want to definitely leave you with is a challenge of mine. What are your convictions? And make sure those convictions are over your appetite. Okay, make sure what you crave, or rather what you believe, is over what it is that you're craving. You have to gain self-control. What God said to you needs to be done, as opposed to what it is you're saying to you, not what the world is saying, because that's blame game fallen behavior. It is you, your own mouth getting you in trouble. So what he say versus, or rather over what it is you even say to yourself. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Before we do, I definitely want to highlight the Biz Mag. I am actually the new managing editor of the Biz Mag.
Hold on, wait, say it one more time. I guess I'll say it. Say it one more time.
What?
Say it, just say it.
I am actually the new managing editor of the Biz Mag. Listen, let me tell you something. This is going to be a household magazine. This magazine is already ready to launch in 4 different major cities. We're going to be in California in March. We'll be in ATL in June. We will be in New York. In New York, we'll be
I already know it.
In September, and we coming back home, baby, to the Shy. You know what I'm saying? In December, and this is going. Let me tell you something. It's going to be the new jet. We already are in place, and set to take off. So let me tell you something. You want to advertise in this magazine. You want your business in this magazine. You want what you're doing in this magazine, because this magazine represents the culture. This magazine represents us. And subliminally, it is set in place for educational purposes, to make sure that we are back to what it is that we need to do. Re-adding to ourselves, because that's one thing they say Black people don't do. And it is the truth. We do not read for ourselves.
Sir, I'm sorry you're gonna have to give me a spot in there.
Absolutely, King. Hey, yo, we need to be in here. We need to be representing the culture, and we need to be definitely pushing it. Because when I tell you, Miss Olivia, she is grand. She's a grand queen out here, and the vision. I am honored to serve the vision that is the BS Magazine. And again, I say to be a part of something so super dope. Like this is like a dream come true for me. Like I love, love, love. Anybody knows me? I love, love, love brown sugar. Like one at the end of it, you know, she gets to marry her very best friend. That is rock true relationship all day, right? But then at the end of the day, it's about the music, it's about the beats, you know what I'm saying? It's about hip hop, it's about the culture. And she was the, you know, editor of Double XL magazine. And that's just like for me, that's who I, you know, saw myself as being a writer, you know, and for a magazine. I remember in college, I actually wrote one of my essays to Eminem, I Love the Way You Lie, and just kind of broke down the poetry in a sense of what it is. This is just everything. I just thank God for aligning vision and this out there. Yeah.
You know, like y'all connected to Soul, what's that? Soul 106.3.
Yes. So
that's the Anchor radio station.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I see Power 92.3. Oh wow, that's
on
big. That's big stuff, y'all. That's big stuff right
now. Come on now. This is serious.
That's big stuff. So that's why I know I want to get in that magazine. So Power 92 can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I want to get in there.
That's right. And not only Power 92, because again, I say we are crossing over. We are moving from just being in the Shy and going into Cali. So now Cali can see what it is. The business.
Look at that.
You know
Uh-oh.
Now ATL can see what BZ and Z is doing. Not New York can see what BZ and Z is doing. And then eventually the world, you know? So yeah, man. Yeah, support. Let us know if you need any of our services. We are here to definitely help your business grow and also highlight you as well. And also, I'm a writer. I'm a writer in the magazine. I'll be doing the business spots and spotlights in the magazine. I'm honored. I am so honored to highlight my brother this year. So this season of the magazine. So I'm excited. Grand things, guys. Unless you have anything else, brother.
Nothing else.
All right. Don't forget to rock single, rock truth. Absolutely
nothing at all.
Nothing at all, yo. Peace. We out. Peace. All right, brother. Love you.
All right.